Hey guys, welcome to Movement Monday for another week. Today we're going to continue the squat talk, but we're going to move on now to a couple of variations that are going to move your squat forward. Okay, so last week we started discussing the chair squat, or basically squatting with an implement behind you so that you have something to aim for as you're going along. Now, as you get more advanced to that and as you feel more comfortable with that, obviously the goal is then to progress, okay? Always think of movements in terms of being able to perform a movement, then being able to do it consistently, and then being able to add intensity to it, okay? Those three levels are massively important in any of the movements we do, okay? So we'll always sort of look at doing that first. So once you can perform the movement, and you can do it a lot of times, I said 43 times, 10, you know, most days if you can do that and you're feeling confident and you know it's looking good, then you can move on then to more advanced variations of it, okay? And then that will continue as we go along, okay? Next week we'll start looking at more loaded stuff. Today it's more still body weight, but we're going to start taking it to that next level. So we're going to start off with the wall squat, okay? Now, what we're looking to do, after you can obviously squat to a seat, which may be roughly, I don't know, about 20 inches off the floor, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. The next thing is then to take it to the next step, okay? We don't necessarily need you to go arse the grass, as they call it, or all the way down to the bottom. As I said last week, literally getting that point where the hip crease is in line with the knee is going to be substantial enough for most people in terms of depth, okay? You're not going to, you know, you're not entering any competitions or doing anything where it requires you to hit a certain depth. But if you want to go a little deeper, then obviously you need to start lowering that target you're aiming for, okay? So the first thing to do, if you want to, okay, is to bring in a lower target. So we're going to use a med ball, okay? These are quite good in terms of a target. It's nice soft targeting to hit. So again, utilising the wall as we were before, okay? That wall squat then with a smaller target to hit will then look like so. So I'll just put that there. So the goal again is to get in front of the wall, okay? Have your guide behind you, so it's sitting here, okay? And then getting as close to the wall as you can. You're then just gonna sit down, okay, on the heels, find that depth sort of range again, sit back into it, and then stand back up, okay? What the wall stops you doing is it gives you a physical presence to stop you from driving forward and bending forward, okay? So the closer you can get and the lower you can go, obviously, the better it's going to be in terms of that squat mobility, okay? So again, having a target to aim for is going to be essential in that. Now, once you feel confident to not have a target there, then the wall squat becomes its own thing. It becomes its, you get that depth there and you start actually learning yourself where that point is that you want to get to, that lowest point, okay? So simply, I'll just kick the ball away, okay? The magic of TV, huh? Same again, so you're standing next to the wall, okay? You give yourself about half a foot to a foot's distance away from the wall, so you've got yourself a little bit of distance from there. And again, just set yourself into position, sit on those heels, and then squat yourself down to the lowest position you can, and then come back up. The point of that is that no point of the body should touch the wall, okay? You go as close as you can, you come down on those heels, squat down, and then you come back out. Okay, that's the wall squat. So the variations on there you can do, obviously as I did, cross-armed. If you want to start testing shoulder mobility, you can start trying overhead and everything else, but it's not necessary in terms of, as I say, shoulder mobility and stuff like that is something you can work towards, but you don't have to do that to be able to move on to the next stage of weighted, because as long as you can keep your hands in this position and keep in an upright position, then you'll be able to do things like goblet squats, front squats, back squats. They shouldn't be too much of an issue. You're not likely to be doing much, snatching or overhead squatting. So don't worry too much about that. That's something you can work on, okay? Now, to help you learn that depth and everything else, if you find that when you're doing it, you still can't get into the positions, and you still think that you're going to fall backwards and everything's going to go wrong, the next thing you can start doing is start utilizing some rings or a post, okay? If you don't have any rings, obviously, you just need to find something that you can hold onto in the home, a door frame or something else like that, okay? Anything will do, as long as it will hold the weight, it's weight bearing enough, okay? The idea here is it's going to teach you that it's not a mobility issue normally with people, it's normally a neural issue. It's an actual issue with the brain, communicating with the body it doesn't think it can go into those positions because it hasn't gone into those positions for so long. So let me just demonstrate quickly the bar or the ring squat variation. So from here, obviously what you can do is you can get hold of a bar. As I say, it's nice and stable, nice and strong. You still set yourself up on your heels and you're still squatting down, but you're using that bar to get into that position, okay? And what you'll find is actually you'll think, I can squat really low, you know? Because you're taking away the balance issue and everything else, what you can do is you can sit in those positions and then you can just start getting used to it, rock around in that lower position as long as you can. Once you've got feeling, you know, the shins or the legs or anything else getting a bit too burnt out, you can then help yourself back out of it and get into those positions, okay? So, you've like suddenly learned that you can get lower. Obviously the rings as well, or TRX straps or anything else you might have in the home. Again, set up in a nice position, you lean back a little bit on those heels, and again, you can squat down and use the rings to help balance you into that position, and then come back out of it, okay? So those two variations very quickly then, they explain very quickly to the body that you can get into those positions. It's literally just going to be practice with body weight and balance and everything else from there. Okay, so that's the post or the TRX or the rings or anything else like that, as I say, using those, leaning back, getting into those positions and learning that depth as well. Okay, so there you go. So that's the wall squat. That's also the ring squats, and then the like a post squat from there. So once you've done all those, the final body weight variation is going to be your air squat or a prison squat, okay? The main difference between the two is just arm positioning, really, okay? So the prison squat, they call it this obviously because of going to the prisons. I don't know if you've seen any films of prison films, I'm not going to go into the gory details, but the idea is that you hold the top of your head from that position there, you get into your stance, you make sure that your legs are in the right position, and then you come down into your squat as deep as you can, and then back out of it, okay? This keeps the hands upright and keeps them into the position, more likely that you will when you're back squatting, in that position there, down, and then back out again, okay? The end of an air squat is where the arm positioning is. Now, I like the air squat because it forces you upright, and it gives you something to physically aim for with your arms, okay? So the air squat, when you're coming down, if you load up and then raise your arms up, okay, towards the ceiling, and then come back up to the top, what it naturally does, I'll show you from the side, is it forces you to keep the upper body upright, okay? Because you're concentrating on those arms. Suddenly, I'm not slouching forward and leaning forward in my squat. I'm actively trying to force the body upwards in an upright position and keep that back as neutral as possible when I go down into my squat. Okay, so that's the air squat. Okay, so again, practice those 3 times 10. Generally, it's going to be good. You can do it every day, every other day, once a week, whatever you want to do. But just start practicing that body weight squat, that air squat, or the prison squat, and start getting yourself into those positions and start learning it. Okay. Once you can do that, once you feel confident doing that, a great tip again from Kelly Starrett, an absolute genius in the field, is then to start doing the squat challenges. Now, to start with, I would recommend like 2 to 3 minutes of just rocking into that bottom position. As I say, you can use the posts, you can use the rings, but just sitting in this position. Okay, this is what you used to do as a kid. You used to sit around, used to pick things up and play with them, and you know, if you've got any sort of young children at the age of sort of 2, 3, they're going to be sitting in this position and picking things up and playing with things and doing stuff in this position. So the goal is just to be able to sit here. I think the challenge he set was up to 10 minutes. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what he thinks is a good, relevant sort of standard in terms of this. But just getting into this position and sitting in it, and just practicing it will help a lot with your squat. Okay, help a lot with the depth and help a lot from there. And even if you're an experienced squatter, you should be able to sit in this position and comfortably be in this position for a while. Okay, if you think you're a good squatter. If you can't, then I'm afraid you're not a very good squatter. You're just very good at hitting the range of motion that you can and putting the most weight on the bar. So start practicing, start getting into these positions, start getting a bit more mobile, guys, okay? Thank you very much for another week. Next week, as I say, we'll start looking at loading these weights up, start going into things like the goblet squat and showing you variations on there, and then maybe even a barbell movement as well. Okay, guys, so hope you enjoy it. Anything you want me to go through, obviously give me a shout, send me an email, pop the question on the Facebook, let me know. Have an awesome week. I'll see you on Friday, guys. Just be awesome. Catch you later.